This is the weather forecast video for Tuesday, February 7th, 2012. Let's take a look at the satellite image from last evening. You can see a disturbance moving through the central high plains that'll be producing a little bit of flurry and snow shower activity over the state later today, and another storm moving into the west coast producing some rain and mountain snow in that area. Watch warning map from just before midnight. Winter weather advisory in southwestern Kansas through the Oklahoma into the northeastern Texas panhandle, and some freezing fog over Washington and Oregon. QPF chart precipitation over the next 5 days through Saturday evening at 6 o'clock shows pretty dry across most of the country, a little bit over the Ohio Valley to the northeast, South Florida, South Texas, and along the west coast. So let's take a look at the 0Z GFS Model Run. This is at 6 p.m. this evening at 500 millibars, or about 18,000 feet off the ground. You can see a polar vortex over Hudson Bay and some energy moving across Oklahoma. That's going to bring some snow, mainly across the southern half of Iowa through Nebraska, Kansas, into Missouri. Another storm moving into the west coast, and some rain continues over South Florida. Wednesday, high pressure is now overhead, temperatures cooling off across the state into the 20s and 30s, which is seasonal for this time of the year, with most of the precipitation well to our east, to our south, to our west, even into Thursday. It's just seasonally cool, 20s, 30s for highs, lows in the teens, and pretty dry. Friday looks to be about the same. Some lake effect snow with a disturbance over that area. Still a little bit of precip over far south Texas. Otherwise, it's still dry, and still looks dry even into Saturday to start off the weekend. A little bit of lake effect over the western and northern Great Lakes. Some rain over South Florida. Still dry here, and still dry, although by here on Sunday you can see a low pressure forming in very far west Texas, bringing some moisture up into Kansas. And that'll be coming up here on Monday, skirting the state. Could see some flurries, mainly south of Interstate 80, would be the best chance, at least at this point. Some snow over the Rockies, and some rain over the south. A week from today, on Valentine's Day, a bit of a broad trough over the center part of the country and out to the west, with pieces of energy along it. And with that, we could see some rain and snow to the east, some snow to the west. And at this point, we're still looking a little bit dry here, but that could change in later runs. A few days later, on the 18th, I see a trough across the center part of the country, ridge over the west, bit of a piece of energy stuck around the Four Corners area, and that could bring some snow in that area in the southern Rockies, and some rain and into snow over the Midwest here by that point on the 18th. A few days later, on the 20th, still have the ridge over the west, a trough axis over the plains, and then a pretty zonal flow from the Mississippi River eastward. And at this point, we could see some snow with a clipper system coming through the Great Lakes, system developing over Texas and Louisiana. That could sweep eastward if this is correct. And at the end of the forecast, the 22nd, still a bit of a ridge over the west, trough over the east with some energy over the eastern Great Lakes, and that could produce some light snow and maybe some lake effect there. And another system over Canada that could be dropping in, bringing more cold air to the state heading into the last week of February. Thank you for tuning in to the weather forecast video. We'll have another one tomorrow.